What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, I really want to go over a topic today that I feel really kind of needs to be evaluated and assessed at this point in time. And that is going to be the tenure of our general manager for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is Brett Veach. I want to put a grade on really the three main categories that consist of being a general manager. That is going to be signing free agents, that is making trades, and that is the ability to really make a decision on draft picks. So we're going to be talking about all of that in this. And in the very end, I'm going to give you my final overall grade on Brett Veach. I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say about this because, as we've progressed through Super Bowls, we've won one of two. We're starting out the season 1-1 this year. I think that there's, to some degree, you can scrutinize and really kind of dissect what Brett Veach has done in some facets. He's been extremely good at some things. So we're going to talk about all this. But before we do, and before we really dive in, I ask that you guys smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. It helps out so much, guys. It really does. The support has been incredible on this channel, and we're going to continue and grind and give you guys the content that you guys are wanting. I also have a quick announcement. I actually made the announcement last night on Twitter. I will be joining the SIA network, Say It Again network. I'm going to be doing a podcast for the Kansas City Royals. And I also am going to be contributing in writing. I'll be writing everything from Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Royals, NFL, college basketball. If you can think of it, I'm probably going to be touching on it. So definitely wanted to get that out there and make that announcement. But let's dive into this. So we're going to start in 2018. And I think the reason why we're going to start in 2018 is because that's when he officially became the GM. Yes, he was on, the group. He was in the, he was with the Kansas City Chiefs when they drafted Patrick Mahomes. He was the lead scout when they obviously drafted Mahomes. He was pushing for Mahomes. That's obviously, something that he is very, very well known for. But again, that was John Dorsey as the GM, and John Dorsey killed it when it came to drafts. I mean, holy smokes. If you look at his ability to draft, wow, he is good at it. So we're going to jump in. First of all, we're going to talk about free agent signings. And we're going to talk about the re-signs and the actual free agents. So he signed Dustin Colquitt, D'Anthony Thomas, Anthony Hitchens, Sammy Watkins, Damien Williams, Xavier Williams, Chad Henne, Jeff Allen, and David Amerson. So I rated this a B-. I think, obviously, Dustin Colquitt, legendary punter for the Kansas City Chiefs. That right there was a must. D'Anthony Thomas, not so much. I think that we realized we missed on that one. We drafted him. Just something that was not going to fit. No need for that. Anthony Hitchens, still playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, still contributing in the defense. Ended up signing a pretty decent deal. And, has done a fair amount of things for the Kansas City Chiefs on that defense from a leadership standpoint, and really is just a factor in the middle. Sammy Watkins, at the time you could have said, man, this was an incredible signing. I still believe he contributed, helped us win a Super Bowl. I'm not going to discredit anything Sammy Watkins did. I was actually a Sammy Watkins fan. I just think, and most people I believe would agree that he needed to stay on the field a lot more and was injury prone quite a bit. Damien Williams, can you speak enough about Damien Williams? Wish they would have re-signed him even now. Incredible signing. Definitely helped out in the running back position. Just truly an incredible running back that helped us win the Super Bowl. Easily could have been the Super Bowl MVP. Xavier Williams, Chad Henne, obviously a good backup in there for Mahomes, and really has done some amazing things for the Kansas City Chiefs. Helped us beat the Cleveland Browns to advance. Chad Henne has been a pretty good backup for the Kansas City Chiefs. You cannot complain about that at all. Jeff Allen is what it is. And then David Amerson. I gave it a B- because there are definitely some key pieces in there that helped us win a Super Bowl and then return to the Super Bowl the following year. In 2019, we re-signed Anthony Sherman. We went out and signed the Honey Badger. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there just dominates this entire free agent signing and really everything that Brett Veach has done outside of being a part of the Patrick Mahomes draft. The Honey Badger signing was absolutely massive. We see how the contributions are being put on the field every single time they go out and play a football game. And, even Bashaud Breeland, a good sign on the next one. Alex Okafor, Damien Wilson, Carlos Hyde, Blake Bell, and Jeremiah Atachu, excuse me. I like this one. I gave it a B plus to an A minus. Obviously, the Honey Badger gave it the A minus. The B plus is because, Carlos Hyde, I feel, could have done something in this. But they obviously moved on. He went and smashed us when he played for the Texans that year. Alex Okafor has yet to really kind of recover from injuries. He was having a decent year in 2019, but then has since not really done a whole lot. Anthony Sherman obviously was that staple for the special teams and really did a lot from the fullback position. Bashaud Breeland was Bashaud Breeland. I mean, he was breezy, guys. Like we know. Damian Wilson, I actually was okay with Damian Wilson. He obviously moved on to Jacksonville. Blake Bell has returned, which we'll talk about. And then I believe Jeremiah Atachu ended up getting cut as well. So I gave it a B plus to an A minus 2019. 2020, Mike Rimmers, Ricky Seals-Jones, Antonio Hamilton, Nick Kaiser, DeAndre Washington, with re-signs of Breeland, Demarcus Robinson, Chad Henne, Sherman, and Mike Pennell. Now I gave this a C minus, and I think it honestly could even be a D plus. This is where I think Brett Veach struggles mightily in 2020. His draft was okay, which we'll talk about. I think it's more of the turnaround, but his free agent signing period in 2020 was awful, was absolutely awful. Ricky Seals-Jones is not on the team. Antonio Hamilton, not on the team. Nick Kaiser, not on the team. DeAndre Washington, not on the team. Mike Rimmers, you know what I mean? Guys, this was a terrible, terrible free agent period. Demarcus Robinson was a re-sign. Bashaud Breeland obviously was a re-sign. Those guys were contributors. But more or less now, people are kind of turning against Demarcus Robinson. Chad Henne, obviously, we needed him back. Anthony Sherman. I mean, we know how Andy Reid's offense is. And Mike Pennell, obviously. But, guys, this is the turning point for me. This is in 2020 where I think you can really put Brett Veach under the microscope and say this was an awful, awful period. 2021, I believe he completely turned it around. We got to the Super Bowl, and in the Super Bowl, we ended up, having issues with the offensive line. So he addressed that immediately in this. I gave it a B plus. Joe Thuney, Kyle Long, Austin Blythe, Jaron Reed, Blake Bell re-signing, coming back from the Cowboys, Michael Burton after, Anthony Sherman retires, and then Taj Sharp, re-signs of Mike Rimmers, Nick Kaiser, and Demarcus Robinson. Kaiser obviously not on the team. Taj Sharp not on the team. Everybody else is on the team. So 2021, I gave it a B plus. I really liked the addressing of the offensive line. So with that being said, guys, we're going to talk about trades now. I get in 2020, and I get that whole time span. We ended up going to a Super Bowl, beating the San Francisco 49ers and winning a Super Bowl. I completely understand that. But ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, you're trying to build longevity. You're trying to create it to where you continuously can go to Super Bowls, continuously go to AFC championships and do that. So you almost have to be excited for what we accomplished, but you're trying to create a dynasty. You're trying to make this thing last longer than 1 to 2 years. So by 2020, that year in free agency just was awful for me. So now we're going to talk about trades. And this is where I think this is kind of a noticeable thing as well. He's definitely had some flashes, but then he's had some awful trades. So Alex Smith in 2018 and Kendall Fuller, I would say that those were great trades. Alex Smith really started kind of creating that culture with Andy Reid. We started seeing winning football again here in Kansas City after some stretches of just awful football. Kendall Fuller, obviously, a great addition. Ended up signing back with the Washington football team. Wanted the money. It makes sense. In 2019, I think that this trade honestly goes under really under the radar, is low key something that we should have really addressed probably and looked at a lot more under the microscope. We traded Eric Murray to the Cleveland Browns for Emmanuel Ogbah. I think that's frustrating to me because Emmanuel Ogbah ended up going to the Miami Dolphins and having one of the best career years ever. Was like top 10, maybe even top 15 in sacks. was an incredible addition to the Miami Dolphins, and we kind of it just didn't happen with the Kansas City Chiefs for some reason. Now, this next one in 2019, it was during the draft, and many of you guys are probably going to be like, no, it was the Frank Clark trade. That was for a first-round pick in 2019, which ended up being LJ Collier, I believe. And we also gave up a second in 2020, and we swapped thirds. So that was the Frank Clark. And then, obviously, in 2021, we traded Orlando Brown Jr. for a first and a third, and a 2022 fourth and a 2022 fifth. That actually, we ended up getting Nick Bolden out of that as well. So, ideally you got Orlando Brown, Nick Bolden, they got everything else. And, the draft pick that they used ended up kind of sealing the deal for us in our first loss this year. So it is what it is. I ended up giving his trades a C+. I think it could honestly be a C-, only because we've yet to see Orlando Brown fully develop through a full season and play in this entire thing. Frank Clark obviously is hot garbage. We let Emmanuel Ogbah go after making a pretty solid trade right there. I mean, that was a tremendous trade that just, for some reason, did not work in Kansas City. And then obviously the Alex Smith and Kendall Fuller worked out for what it was. So I gave it a C+. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up and we're going to go over the drafts. So you guys, oh man, here we go. So I got to share it for you guys, share the screen. Here we go. I'm going to give you the full screen. My face is going to disappear. This is actually through Pro Football Reference. And like I said, we're going to start in 2018. As you guys can see, the year before, Patrick Mahomes was, obviously traded for. We had traded up to get Patrick Mahomes, and Brett Veach was on that. But I'm doing when Brett Veach was the full GM. So starting in 2018, that was going to be the Alex Smith, Kendall Fuller years. Holy smokes, guys. Like, Breland Speaks isn't even on playing football, I believe, anymore. Derek Nottie, out of the whole entire thing, has been probably the biggest contributor, still playing D-tackle. Dorian O'Daniel has been a lifetime special teamer. Armani Watts has kind of been a lifetime special teamer. We're starting to see him play just a little bit more when the injuries occurred, but Armani Watts really hasn't done anything. Tremont Smith and Khalil McKenzie, they are what they are. Neither one of them are even on the team anymore. So out of this entire draft, you could say one, if not maybe two, have contributed. In year 19, we drafted Mecole Hardman. Ladies and gentlemen, we could go through the draft, and I understand we're playing Monday quarterback. But ladies and gentlemen, Mecole Hardman, and I get the whole Tyreek Hill situation, but there were some tremendous receivers. We chose Mecole Hardman. Juan Thornhill. I liked the pick of Juan Thornhill. I was a huge fan, especially with him coming out of Virginia. I still think Juan Thornhill has the ability to be something special. It's just interesting to see why he's only getting 11 snaps. I'm confused by that. Kalen Saunders, as a third-round pick, has yet to develop and become anything. Rashad Fenton, I'm a huge Rashad Fenton fan. Wish they would give him more of an opportunity. Darwin Thompson, gone. Nick Allegretti is what he is. He's a backup, backup guard, has been playing a little bit of center at times. He is what he is. I gave this draft, honestly, I would say a C+, only because we have not really seen the full, capabilities of what this draft was. And I think that's what's been frustrating. You see a lot of teams go out and capitalize on their second-round picks. You see a lot of teams capitalize on their third-round picks. We have really yet to capitalize, and yes, we've had some steals. Do not get me wrong. We will see that here in a little bit. But you need to be able to supplement your drafts with free agents and trades. That's the biggest thing as a GM and really kind of that collective group of scouts and everything. You have to be able to supplement your drafts with your signings to create longevity, to create that dynasty type feel where you can continuously compete year in and year out. And I think that's what's been most frustrating for me and for some fans is that our drafts have not necessarily supplemented and continuously been good enough to do that. So we're starting to see that change a little bit, I feel, in 2020. A lot of people are critical of Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now. I'm a big fan of Clyde. I think he fits the scheme really well. I think he'll end up being a great running back, and he'll fit for what we want to accomplish in this offense. And you have to remember Patrick Mahomes is the guy that wanted Clyde. So I'm not against Clyde. He had one mistake. It happens. He's still developing. He's learning the game. Not by no means am I going to be critical of Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now. Willie Gay, I think once he is healthy and can stay healthy and plays football, you're going to see a special talent at linebacker. He's just got to stay on the field. Lucas Niang, we're seeing him be the starter at right tackle. I think that is going to be a tremendous third-round pick. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting to see those picks kind of turn around. L'Jarius Sneed, a fourth-round pick, an absolute steal out of Louisiana Tech. Incredible draft pick right there. I mean, probably our best corner, just a freak. Mike Dana, as a fifth-round pick, I mean, he's been playing almost as a starter. He comes in quite a bit. That I like that pick. He should be more of a rotational piece, but with the issues with Frank Clark and not having the ability to do anything, Mike Dana's kind of stepped up and really been that special piece. And then obviously Bo Peep Keys, who is no longer with the team. I really thought he has a capability, and that's a good draft pick there at 7. I mean, that truly was. Like, he was competing pretty hard towards the end of training camp this year to make the squad. We cut him, and he obviously got picked up for a reason by the Colts. So, a great draft pick right there. Now we're talking 2021. Nick Bolden with the second-round pick. We didn't have a first because we traded for Orlando Brown. Nick Bolden, we'll have to see. I'm a fan, but maybe not necessarily in that spot. Would we have got him if we would have waited? Maybe not, but it is what it is. I think Nick Bolden will be something special. I just don't know if he was worth that pick. Creed Humphrey could potentially be an all-pro. I really like that pick there. Joshua Kaindoh with the fourth-round pick has been inactive, hasn't really contributed. Kind of a project. Let's just be honest, not quite a Tano Passanio, but he's not a full-blown starter. Noah Gray, I think he will be a very good piece and supplement, Travis Kelce throughout his career. I think Noah Gray was a great draft pick. Cornell Powell is on our practice squad and has yet to contribute and may never contribute. The steal of the draft and probably one of the best draft picks that Brett Veach will ever have is that Trey Smith pick right there. 6th round, 226 in 2021. So, in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to bring my face back. As you guys can see, those were the drafts. In the grand scheme of things, I gave Brett Veach a C+. And the reason is because I feel that there have been times where he just hasn't done the best that he possibly could in certain situations. I understand we won a Super Bowl. And again, I'm not discrediting that, but you're trying to create enough to where you're competing year in and year out. You're putting a good, solid team out there every single year. The Kansas City Chiefs do have a fantastic football team this year, but we're also seeing some areas where there are weaknesses. And I think that comes with the start in 2020 where the free agency period was just awful. And you're not supplementing it to the best of your ability when it comes to draft picks. That's why I'm critical of Brett Veach right now. He's definitely had some amazing moves. I mean, he signed the Honey Badger. He went and traded for Orlando Brown. I think he's been a tremendous, this year when it comes to getting offensive line plugged in place. I mean, he gets Joe Thuney, Kyle Long, Austin Blythe. Lucas Niang is a draft pick. We draft Trey Smith. You still got guys like Mike Remmers and Nick Allegretti that are coming in. LDT is still on this team. So he's had some good moments, but for longevity and for what you're trying to accomplish, if you look at how teams have developed over the years that have done it consistently, Brett Veach is kind of lacking in some areas. And maybe as time goes, he'll get better at it. But, if you really go back and look, you have to be grateful for what John Dorsey did for this team. I mean, he really did draft some tremendous players, and holy smokes, he was good at it, guys. I mean, it's just incredible to see Chris Jones was on there. Yes, Demarcus Robinson has been scrutinized, but Demarcus Robinson was drafted with him. Tyreek Hill, he was the GM when they drafted Patrick Mahomes. He drafted Kareem Hunt. Like, he drafted Marcus Peters, Mitch Morris, Steven Nelson. The list goes on and on and on. And I think that shows like what his ability was as a true scout and evaluating talent, where Brett Veach is trying to figure that out and his team is trying to figure that out. So overall, I gave him a C+. I would be very interested to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section about this. And is this a concern you have moving forward? Are we going to be able to continuously draft and build this up and see this through? Because, I'm going to break down obviously the Baltimore game and talk a little bit of that, but we're seeing what happens when you are lacking in some categories, and we're seeing that in the run defense. So I appreciate you guys checking out this video. It means a ton. It really does. I appreciate the support as always. Again, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think of my grade, really of my breakdown. And as always, I appreciate you checking out the Beat of KC, and have a good day.